Alright, I got a Wildcat in here. I'm going to see if we can show you how bad this is. I don't know if you can see how bad this is. Probably not. That is poofy. Trying to get you. It is like it's got so much D-lam on it. Okay, you can see it this way. There you go. See, just puffing all around. So it's all D-lam. This whole back wall is. We did another Wildcat too. I'm hoping that it doesn't stretch all around here like the other one did. It went all the way underneath the door, if I remember correctly on there. You can see they've had some issues with it. All this caulking in here. So we're going to tear this apart here in a few. And you see I got some right here over this side too. So what it is it's a lot of times the water will come down from the top right there, and it'll just, there's a termination bar that goes, well, you can see it right there. That piece right there that goes all around the top from side to side. That's usually where it fails, and then the water will funnel in, especially in these corners. They're real vulnerable. And also, which doesn't help, is that insert trim. That insert trim will travel water right down right into that corner if it's not sealed right, and especially if it's not sealed right behind this little gutter spout, if it's not sealed right there. And then it'll just trench right in. So obviously we got to tear it all apart. We're going to save the fiberglass though. We always try to save the fiberglass because if we put on a brand new piece, it is going to be stick out like a sore thumb. It's also very expensive. So we're going to fillet it off, and then we're going to get it all prepped and clean, and we'll just glue it back on. This way we don't have to even replace decals at all or anything like that. So we'll replace this decal right here, you know, for sure. We'll take that off. But we're going to clean it all up, and it'll save them some money. But also, if you ever want to sell this, I don't want that thing sticking out like a sore thumb and someone come looking around at it and they go, hey, what happened here? Oh, well, I had some work done on the back. Because now that raised a red flag. There are not any good RV roof repair centers that I've ever come across, and I hear it all the time from my customers. So it's going to raise a red flag because most folks are aware that there aren't any good repair centers. So I don't know what the roof looks like yet. We'll take a glance at it, but he didn't want to do the roof, just the back wall. Somebody was already into this one. You can see that pink insulation in there. There you go, right there. You can see that. You see all this thing is all rotted right here. So you're going to get first glimpse. You got all this right here. Or Wildcat. Wildcat with 3 T's, I think. Wildcat. What a mess. Look at those big old screws coming from the other side. Wow. Ooh, look at there. Got a screw. See if I can show you that. Where to go, where to go, where to go. One of them trying to see right here. There it is. Look at that, leaning right there in that wire. That's the hot wire. That's the big boy. Out there going to give you a jolt. So we'll have to renegotiate that, but somebody was obviously in on this thing previously. You can see we got all this foam insulation, this pink stuff behind here, which is okay. It's just not done right. It's not glued. So we'll see how bad she is. So now we're going to try and get this corner mold off. We got that little dimple through there. We'll have to epoxy that back together. Get another one right up there. That looks like a hole. So we're going to get a knife and we're going to open it up. Here's the unveiling. Yeah.
If we can get it lifted.
The unveiling. You can lower it back down. Look at all that foam coming out of there.
Oh my God.
You got another screw in there. Stop. Hold on there. I got to put the camera down. This is what we got. Beautiful craftsmanship. I doubt that was sent out the factory that way. That batten was, but somebody tried to already repair this and failed miserably. We got a bad truss right here. I don't know what else we're going to find in this thing, but I know this back wall, or on this side, is bad. That in here. So we're going to have to take off all of this here, all this trim. I'll do all that. And let's see what we got around it. Yeah. Yeah, don't mess with it.
No, especially not a big fat
Oh
boy like
my, we got He is a big fat guy
Oh,
too.
boss, let me get this out of your way.
That's right. He got on a scale the other day, and the scale said, "One at a time, please."
That was one leg.
One at a time, please. All right. Want to come? Well, all right. So the hole in the fiberglass I had pointed out. Look at here. See that screw? And then they put this 2x6 in here. And there, the other one I pointed out up here. There's another screw. But it gets better. That's right. Hold on. Wait, there's more. The wire that I was telling you about that I could see pierce through the wall. Look at there. And it goes all the way through. I don't know why they use these big old screws to go on through here. That other side over there, it is kind of delaminated, you know, right here on the edge. So we could probably salvage that without tearing all this. I'm going to look into it because I'm looking back here now. I just want to make sure that I can get that right. If not, I'm going to take all this apart too. So there may be a little bit of work I want to see when we pop all this off. That seems pretty solid up underneath here so far, but looks like the bottom here is rotted. That's the floor. That's not the wall, the bottom plate. This is your bottom plate to your wall is right here. This is to the floor of the coach. And that's what's rotted up underneath this other fancy 2x6. And you can see how they put these nice screws in that way. That's great joinery. Your 3/4 board right here that they put in here to try to pull that wall together. That is some sorry stuff. That is some sorry stuff. At least they got, you know, they got these in here. I don't believe this is factory. I've never seen one quite this bad like this. But they got this here, so I'm tempted to say if it was factory, you know, because I don't know too many people that would actually put them back. But we got to fix this wire anyways. And I always look at these to make sure they're not compromised right here. Because that's a heck of a turn, like that's a 90 degree. They should have made a swoop to come up. Let's see if I draw back a little bit. Should have made a swoop to come up like that way, so it has a softer bend to it instead of a right turn or a 90 turn, shall we say. I guess that would be left if you're looking at it that way. You know, if you're looking down, it would be a right turn, wouldn't it? Yeah, something like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we check all these out. Check all these out. It's got some play in it, so that's a plus, except for this. And that's just a big problem in itself, so we have to figure out how to fix that. I don't like to put splices in the wall. I think this is a storage compartment. Nope. But I'll see on the inside if there's access to it, then I'll put a box on the inside or something maybe. But it's going to have to be fixed. Otherwise, see, that chases all the way up and it goes all the way to the air conditioner. So that would be a little bit of work to tear that apart. But you certainly don't build like this. So if you see this, if this is what you're doing, stop now. Do not do this. This is a mess. 2x4s, just 2x6s. And you know, you think it's working. It doesn't work. The terrible joinery. Look at this. Isn't even straight either. This isn't straight. It's just kind of slapped in there. You can see it wasn't even made proper right here. It's got a screw in the corner going into this piece here. Another 2x4. That's just terrible. I wonder what RV shop this came from. Did you see a Camping World logo on this thing? These big screws, we were wondering, what the heck are they for? That's some big screws coming through that wall. See, there's another set down here, some up there. There's a right there. So let me show you where it is. Right there. And there's another set up there. We'll go over to the other side. That's how they screwed the bunk bed assembly in. That's what that is. They plowed it through the wall. So we gotta free that up. Now that we know what we got in there, now we can support it properly and get some proper framing in it. That's crazy. But that's what we do. We fix things here. We will solve this problem. We're starting to dismantle this. I took out that bottom piece there and a couple others. You see how big those screws are. I showed you that already. The screws are there. And then I'm just taking this off here. I noticed somebody was already into this. I just pried this off nice and easy here, but look at there. Got split there, a split there. So it looks like there's enough hose. We're going to attach it, but I'm wondering if just by filling that up from time to time, if any of that is washed in there. So that's my concern there. We're going to take this off here. Yeah, looks like somebody was already into on this side a little bit too. So we got a little bit of rot here. You got some rot in this area. This seemed a little more solid than this area right here. So we probably still want to take that little cabinet out and see what's going on there. All of this is all rotted. You can see all that falling in. There's nothing there. That whole thing is ready to come out. You see how much right here. Okay. That there is a Wildcat with at least 3 T's. Wildcat. So we're going to have to break this apart. I don't know how far back it goes. Maybe you can go to that door. When I reach my arm up inside this here, it is all the way back there. And now we're going to free this up. Still got some water in this thing. Look at the size of the screws they used when they screwed this in. That's why it came through the phylon when they screwed it. That's a long screw. That's like a 2.5 inch screw right there. The wall was only 1 1/4. So, let's say we're trying to put coat hangers on the other side, which makes it convenient when you come out and you're camping. You can just hook your coat on these screws that stick out there like that. Just hook your coat as and your wet towel. Yeah. Look back there. There's another stud that's doubled up on this side, on this wall right here. You got this one, and this is the one we took out that's rotted. And then there's another one back there. So if we put this on here, there's not going to be a lot of strength. It's going to have a little cantilever action going on, and it's going to want to do this. Okay, so we got to stop that. The other way is we'd have to tear all this out to replace it. That's crazy. So we took the piece of steel, and what we're going to do is we're going to slide it up underneath there and glue it right to that other one underneath there. See if you can see that. Once we get that slid in there, then we're going to bolt everything together. And when we throw those bolts in there, and also there's a frame right here. There's a steel frame there, and there's another steel frame here. Once we bolt all that together, then we're probably going to put another couple of bolts in there, just for good measure. It ain't going nowhere. See how I get that piece slid up underneath the other one? And like I said, we put all sorts of construction here. Actually, I use M1 by ChemLink is what we use here. It's a structural grade adhesive. So that'll hold it, and then like I said, we're going to bolt it together. And on the other side of this frame, I'll show you where it is so we get all the strength we want. And if you look at this, this is actually coming up a little bit, this piece compared to this one. It's elevated a little bit, but we still got this to put in there, and it'll bring it right back down where we want. So now I'm maintaining all that strength that I need in there. And then we're going to come through here, and we're going to bolt it through here. And then this other piece will be here, and we're going to fasten and secure all that in there too. So we may end up just screwing this. Obviously we're going to glue it all together. I don't do anything without glue. If you don't put no glue in it, fasteners will loosen up. The glue acts as a buffer to kind of absorb some of the shock. So all that's all glued in there. But then what we'll do, see, we're going to put some stitches in here. We'll put some screws coming down all the way. So now that whole piece is all back together in itself. So we'll get this all back framed. We're still going to put the sheathing in on it. Now we're over on this side over here. That too is rotted with 3 T's. So we got to at least pull this section out right in here somewhere. And that's where the power box was too, right there. It was in here in this little cubby, so we took all that. We're going to also make an access panel right here. If he ever had an issue to get into that little box right there, he wouldn't be able to get in. He wouldn't be able to get in through here, wouldn't be able to get in through here. So there was this makeshift thing here, but it didn't look well. So we're going to just kind of redo it a little bit so it makes it a little easier to get access to it. Check this out. We're going to go back there a little bit, see how much rot we kept back down on this other side over here. So we got an aluminum frame, and then I'm going to check all this piece, which sounds pretty good right there, but the decking is obviously right here. The sheathing right here is all rotted. And then I'll check that as well. If I have to, I'll splice another one in there too. We'll get it all put back together. So all this is all done now. And then you can see we got the steel down over there and there. And then we've put this piece in here sitting on the frame. And then we put a couple of gussets in there to help that out. On this one, it was just surface. So what we did is ran it back over. and then just glued and put another one. All we need that for really is a nailer. There's still strength in all of that, and by the time all the adhesive bonds back together, it'll be fine. So there's a set of bunk beds here anyways on this, so we just want to make sure structurally it's sound, and that obviously that the side is going to be able to carry. So that's sort of what we are working on. We'll have to probably realign the wall a little bit there too. We got our insulation put in, we already got it all framed. We're going to reset the decking on here, and then we're going to go work on this side. This will give it a lot of strength, because just that end there is like maybe ½ inch or something that looks boogered. Everything else pulled together. So we cut this piece out, put a new fresh one in, got that one going there, right? So we can leash everything together. And then we're just going to put this plate over there, which will help strengthen up that corner. We're going to put more adhesive on here, and we're going to put in our new piece. Got it all insulated. We also made sure we had a break on this other side right here so we can get the decking on there. We're going to load her up. Alright, so now we're going to try to rebuild this wall. We're going to give it an earnest effort. So you bring these things to a shop and you go, hey, I need a new roof. You'd think that they'd strip off the old stuff and give you a nice new roof. Look at there. There's the old roofing. All they did was cut it back. See? That's it. Look how loose that is. I mean, you can peel. I'm just putting my thumb on there. So, yep, 2 layers. Hey.
Coming up right here.
So, that's what they do at some of these shops. Just keep that in mind when you go someplace. You're comparing apples to apples. Looks like they may have already had trouble with this corner before. You can see it looks like it's been cut right here. It looks like another piece. So if they did, it didn't solve the problem. Let's check out this wire. Look at all that 90 on there. Ooh, boy. Oh, wow. That got a good dig in it right there. Dadgum. Dadgum. Boy, oh, get the camera over there. Oh, wow. That really, I don't know if it dug into the other or not. We need to take care of that problem now. Geez, we found a whole slew of problems. What we did with this wire is we took it apart so we could really take a good look at it. We actually pulled it through this vent over here, that vent from the inside. We really want to look at it, make sure it wasn't compromised. And the only thing that was compromised was that orange sheathing. So all we do is put some more tape on it. It'll be fine. So this goes all the way to the circuit board. We would have to replace the whole thing, but it's fine. If it was compromised, we would have replaced that. Right on that set. People don't want to hear you potty mouth. All right, so this is what framing should look like. So we got it all framed out. I got a couple of 2x4s right there, and on the corner, that's to carry that bunk bed. There were bunk beds in there to carry the bunk bed frame. They had those big screws that I was showing you that went through. So we've got everything all plated with all these safety plates, so you can't put any fasteners through it. We're going to redo the box right here so you can access it through that way on the interior. Now we just got to get everything all kind of put back together, but she's ready to go pretty soon here, and we'll just check out all this mess. This is a little dry and stuff, but it's not too far bad in there, so we're going to see what we can do and how we're going to fix it. I don't know if you can see it. Come in, there we go. And the other side's the same. So all of this, everything's all glued and screwed. Everything's glued and screwed. You have to have the glue and screw. Glued and screwed. Glued and screwed, everything. We made all our repairs on this side over here, and then we framed all this out, and then those little patches right there that you see, we had to make sure we had blocking in there for the ladder. So that's what we did, put them in there, and then obviously got it back to smooth so we can get this panel. That's what we're doing now, is we're spraying the side with the adhesive, and then we're going to stick her right back on there. So we got this back side all done. Now we're going to laminate this front, this side rather. Well, we got our Wildcat done. The back wall laminated, this side laminated, got the corner mold on there, and all that's been sealed. Ladder back on, everything's all set. And then what we did, just as a prudent measure, we changed the insert trim that goes in that gutter on both sides. And change it all the way down here. Put the good stuff in there. And the inside is, put that grate back in. Got the bunk beds back in. But we also were able to, if you look back at the framing, we had put in some studs in there to carry those bunk beds. So now we shouldn't have that issue again. And also we did not use those extra long screws to go through the siding. So, and then we spoke with the customer, but all that was rotted. So what we did is just, we're going to leave it like that. He's probably going to want to put vinyl or whatever he chooses to put in there. So that's about it. So like I said, we just got to put that grate in. And it's ready to go. It's ready to go. We appreciate you watching. Share, like, all that jazzy stuff. And we'll see you in the next one.